What does it take to become the best? Is it talent, luck, or something else entirely? Imagine sitting across from someone whose dreams seem wildly out of reach, and yet they speak with full confidence. You might doubt them in the moment, but their vision is so strong that years later, you're left in awe of how it all came true. This is exactly what happened when Steve Chandler met Arnold Schwarzenegger, before the world knew him. Arnold Schwarzenegger was not famous yet, but in 1976, he and Steve Chandler had lunch together at the DoubleTree Inn in Tucson, Arizona. Not one person in the restaurant recognized him. He was in town publicizing the movie Stay Hungry, a box office disappointment he had just made with Jeff Bridges and Sally Field. Steve Chandler was a sports columnist for the Tucson Citizen at the time, and his assignment was to spend a full day, one-on-one, with Arnold and write a feature story about him for the newspaper's Sunday magazine. Steve, too, had no idea who Arnold was or who he would become. He agreed to spend the day with him because he had to. It was an assignment. And although Steve took to it with an uninspired attitude, it turned out to be a day he would never forget. Perhaps the most memorable part of that day with Schwarzenegger occurred when they took an hour for lunch. Steve had his reporter's notebook out and was asking questions for the story while they ate. At one point, Steve casually asked, "Now that you have retired from bodybuilding, what are you going to do next?" And with a voice as calm as if he were telling Steve about some mundane travel plans, Arnold said, "I'm going to be the #1 box office star in all of Hollywood." Mind you, this was not the slim, aerobic Arnold people know today. This man was pumped up and huge. And so for his own physical sense of well-being, Steve tried to appear to find Arnold's goal reasonable. Steve tried not to show his shock and amusement at Arnold's plan. After all, his first attempt at movies didn't promise much. And his Austrian accent and awkward, monstrous build didn't suggest instant acceptance by movie audiences. Steve finally managed to match Arnold's calm demeanor and asked him just how he planned to become Hollywood's top star. "It's the same process I used in bodybuilding," Arnold explained. "What you do is create a vision of who you want to be, and then live into that picture as if it were already true." It sounded ridiculously simple, too simple to mean anything. But Steve wrote it down, and he never forgot it. Steve would never forget the moment when some entertainment TV show announced that box office receipts from Arnold's second Terminator movie had made him the most popular box office draw in the world. Was he psychic? Or was there something to his formula? Over the years, Steve used Arnold's idea of creating a vision as a motivational tool. He also elaborated on it in his corporate training seminars. Steve invites people to notice that Arnold said you create a vision. He did not say you wait until you receive a vision. You create one. In other words, you make it up. A major part of living a life of self-motivation is having something to wake up for in the morning. Something that you are up to in life so that you will stay hungry. The vision can be created right now, better now than later. You can always change it if you want, but don't live a moment longer without one. Watch what being hungry to live that vision does to your ability to motivate yourself.